today we are reviewing Thursday, April 2nd, short week, which ended up being very good. I would say for sure this is the cleanest week of the year so far. I did not do very well overall, even though I had a good read. If you watched my last video, I had a really good read on the weekly bias. I wanted Tuesday to make the low, and I wanted to see us push up. I will say, had I been a little bit more clued in on it being a short week, maybe I would have been a little bit more bullish earlier on. I was kind of taken by surprise at the bounce, even though I was looking for it. The strength of the bounce was truly remarkable. Anyway, without further ado, we're going over Thursday's price action, and then I will review the trades with you, some good, some bad. Okay. So here we go. Yesterday, we had some continuation. Let's just review shortly, very briefly. Tuesday, made the low. Major pump. That was like a 3.5% move. First target for the week was going to be this guy right here. The body of that daily. Looks even better here. Trying to capture this volume imbalance here. That's the first major target that we should have pushed towards, based on what ICT teaches. Okay. Anyway, I wanted this gap. This is just a short review of the last video. I wanted this gap to just be completely disrespected, run through, and then this gap here on the daily to be the one that we kind of react towards. Okay. Now, Wednesday, I got stopped out by the exact high because I was looking for a retracement, but I was just early. I got stopped out by the high during lunch, or right after lunch, and then we started to drop. We started to retrace. And in a perfect world, right? Let's see here. In a perfect world, we'd come down maybe to the 0.5. Close enough. That's close enough for me. Anyway, what we did is begin to retrace into this guy. This 1 hour. And then you also have a nice 4 hour here. Okay. Whoops. And I mean, look at that. Don't ever tell me that ICT doesn't work, guys. Come on. Look at that. Don't ever tell me that ICT doesn't work. You're silly. You're looking foolish if you're telling me that stuff. That's perfect. Anyway, we start to get the retracement on Wednesday. Let's see here. And what does Asia do? Okay. Or we started to get the retracement in PM. Okay. But then what do we have here? We have a low resistance liquidity run all the way here, essentially. It's not perfect, but you get the idea. It is a trend line. That's a low resistance liquidity run. If you wanted to draw it from here, I'm okay with that too. All this right here, there's a lot of people that are trying to short in here while this is happening, while the pump is going on, and there's a lot of people building longs. Okay. So this low resistance liquidity run in Asia deletes all of that. And then people can put real positions in. I mean, this is picture perfect. It does not get any more perfect than that. Okay. So if you want a clean week to look at so far in 2026, this is your week. This is the week where, I mean, I did okay this week, but I would like to make, these are the weeks that I want to make 10K, even more. And execution just wasn't there, but it's good to learn. So Asia came and made a lower high, and then it displays down. A lot of people would say, well, that was Trump talking. Okay, sure. It's interesting that whenever something happens with the news, it always fits into what price action is supposed to do, quote unquote, supposed to do, based on what ICT teaches. So sure, if you want to say it's unpredictable, it's just Trump, okay, that's fine. That's your prerogative. Okay. Anyway, without further ado, here we go. What I would have liked to see is the market kind of open up Sure, it can do a lower high, or it could have taken this. Would have been fine with either, and then start to move down to continue what started in PM, which is a retracement. It's only a retracement. That was not a bearish move. That was a retracement. Okay. It retraced further than I thought it, because I'm not really used to this year it being super clean. Anyway, so we took this short. Okay. We took this short there, expecting this guy to become a reclaimed FVG, which, as you can see right here, it ended up doing that. That was trade number one. Okay. These are evals. Trade number two. Once again, wanted to see that continue, okay? And this is, I'm just showing you guys this so that way you can see that there's not only logic to this, but I execute upon these things, okay? This one was a mistake. We went for extra, okay? Chased it a little bit, got a little bit ahead of myself. Now, that's a big retracement right there. To be fair, I would not call this a standard retracement, but it is what it is. You know, after that, I went to dinner, call it a day, wait for later, okay? This is perfect. London comes and makes a high up here, which I was taking longs here on an apex, missed it by a few points. My limit was, I think, 83 or 84. I think it was 84. And I went to sleep, got stopped out. Is what it is, folks. That's going to happen. Sometimes you get it perfect. Sometimes you miss it by a point. You know, that's just the way the red. Okay. Fast forwarding to AM. I was not awake for AM, but let's see why it was clean. Okay. We're below true day open. We come down. Price comes down here. Okay. It makes a higher low. There was no SMT today. SMT would have made it better. But it makes a higher low, signaling bullish, while inside of these PD arrays. Right here. Okay. So I mean that should be screaming to you after we're down this far in a buy curve, below true day open, inside of all the, not only were we in the 4 hour, we were in a daily BPR here. I mean, I feel like a fucking nerd talking about this, but I mean, look at that, guys. Like, look at the picture perfectness of this. This is the single best. This is the single best setup I've seen all year. Okay? Unfortunately, I wasn't awake, but it doesn't matter. That just builds confidence. So you have all that going on. You need to be aware of the higher time frames. It makes the higher low. It doesn't need to sweep that out. And then we're going in off of this guy. We are going in off of this guy. Stop loss is at the low. We are riding this thing. I'll show you what the TPs would be. I'll show you what the TPs would be. Here we go. Let's say we got in at the worst possible entry right there. Okay, so that's number one. You're taking it to London. This is 3-1. If you can do micros, or if you have multiple contracts, you're taking it to Asia. Okay? That is 10-1. This is the best delivery that I've seen in a long time, to be fair. But, I mean, that's not an impossible trade to hold. If you don't like to do targets, what you could do is this. I mean, because this is just such a clean delivery. And you could have exited at the end of the day if you really wanted to. If you really want to hold it for that. But if you're just trading AM, stop loss at the low, and you're just trailing your stop on up, and it shouldn't really come hit the stop loss. And here's why. Because none of these FEGs are getting disrespected at all. There's not a single bullish PD array in here that's getting disrespected until it sweeps this out. And even then, it takes lunch for it to come down and disrespect this. But at that point, you have the 15 minutes to play off of, right? Which I took trades in. I'll show you that in a second. But I mean, there's no reason to be getting stopped out here. There's nothing here. Look, even this one right here, there's a tiny gap. Probably can't even see to the untrained eye. Look at that. That's even getting respected. I mean, it doesn't get any cleaner than today. It does not. So if you were bearish, what you need to do is go look at the higher time frames and understand why that bias was just incorrect. Now, you could say in hindsight, sure, but there's no reason to be looking for shorts. If you want to short, you're shorting it overnight. Whoops. Oh, I don't know what that is. I don't know what we just did there. Uh-oh. Okay, anyway, we'll do it without it. We don't need that. Uh-oh. No, we don't need that. We need the sessions. Kill zones. Oh, no. No. It wouldn't. Okay. Alright, well, we just butchered the, Alright. Anyway. Ah, look at that. Refresh the page. Okay. There's no reason to look for shorts here. If you do, you're doing this. You're getting in on this IFEG, or well, really, you're shorting it overnight. And then once you see that, you're not doing that anymore. But this is the only setup for shorts during AM. And you're getting in on this candle, and your position would be, unfortunately, you know, it might look like this. It might look like this, folks. And you'd probably be targeting the low. That's over 1-to-1. And I would say that this should be a break even, because once this gets stopped out right here, or once this gets disrespected, you need to get the hell out of there. You need to close that and say, okay, it's not looking likely, or you're just taking a loss, which is what it is. Like, it's not an awful trade. It's a real setup. It's not an awful trade, but the bias is significantly wrong if you're shorting. Okay, and that's okay. It's okay. It's more important that you can see why it was wrong than getting it right. I don't know if I explained that well. Okay, fast forward. Okay, this is a trade that I took because we bounced off of here. It looked like we were bouncing after sweeping that, just barely. So I was willing to take a long. I was very bullish this week, which is why it's disappointing that I didn't capture more. And this was my trade because this is how I do my evals. I don't care how you do your evals. This is how I do mine. Okay? Because I felt confident in this. This is how I do mine. I have a good success rate with this. You can do it how you'd like. If you want to do it tighter, that's fine. The best way to do this is also Tradeify. I would do it slightly differently on Apex, where I'm trying to pyramid on Apex and pass in one day. So I do tailor my trades and strategy a little bit differently for each eval or eval style. And then we took another one here, and this one was even better because, once again, guys, I'm very, very confident in this trade. I am willing. I didn't know. I never know what the market's going to do, but I knew that I had edge here after everything gets swept out again, and we're in this 1 hour gap that was newly formed today, really a BPR. We already disrespected this. Okay. So I'm seeing longs, and I'm willing to put trades on. I'm not afraid to lose if I'm wrong there. I knew that I had edge, and that's all that matters to me. I don't care that I was right or wrong. And that's an easy first day down. Okay. Let's see, where were we? Right there. Okay, and that's the trade. And I got a little bit extra on that. Whoops. I got a little bit extra on there. So that's the second execution. Okay. I was just taking off that extra 25 points that I had. That's all. And then I go to the gym, go about my day. All right. I'm going to show you some more trades. I'm going to show you some more trades in a minute, so that way you can get a further idea that you can make money in the, I mean, the market moves so much recently that there is no reason why you can't get in here and carve it up if you get the bias right. That should be your number one focus, is getting the bias right. I mean, look at it. Guys. Yeah, it's chopping. Yes, it is chopping. It's chopping hundreds of points. You know what I mean? So there's no excuse, guys. And there's no point in making excuses. Just say, I didn't get it right. Let me look at why. Let me look at if there's a way to have gotten it right, if there's logic to it. You don't want to just be like, well, today I should have bought. Okay, yeah, you need to know why, though, so you can repeat it. You want something repeatable. Okay, without further ado, I will show you some more trades. Fresh Apex. A brand new fresh Apex. And this is just, guys, all I'm trying to do here, I don't care if you think I can trade or not. I don't care. I make plenty of money from trading. I have a Discord server where I do giveaways. I don't expect anything back from that. I started my trading career by getting giveaways and free resets from the My Fun and Futures Discord. And it was very essential to building capital early on. This is just to show you that this stuff works and how it looks to actually do it and how to execute it and what goes wrong, how to think about things, okay? From a different perspective that's not ICT, even though I'm sure it feels similar. I'm sure I talk just as much as that guy does. Here we go, shorting. I'll talk about my mistakes here. A little unlucky, obviously. A little unlucky. We got stopped out by 0.25. And I think, yeah, no, it did go a little bit over. I was going to say maybe it was just, sometimes it stops you out at like 998 or whatever. But anyway, fresh Apex. Mistake number one, if I just waited, which is, you know, a theme of trading. If I just waited, I could have had this, you know, in theory, and I would have targeted the PM low. Well, really, if I was doing 2 contracts, I'd just go for 50 points because 50% consistency. Anyway, I'm not going to get into how I trade the prop firms, but I trade them for payouts. So I would have stopped that out at 2K. But really, the biggest mistake here is not waiting one. I did this guy. I did this gap, which was, yeah, it was okay. Mistake number 2 is doing 2 contracts when the market is moving as much as it does. And I only have a $1,000 daily loss limit. There's no reason for that. I didn't expect it to be as clean as it was, to be fair, which is just honestly a lack of mental fortitude. Because, you know, the market clears up when it clears up eventually. It might be weeks, it might be months, but you shouldn't tailor your trading to ugly market conditions. But anyway, you know, this would have been my 2K right there. And that would have been a great trade. But instead we lose 1,000. Could have been even more. But anyway, you know, 2 mistakes there. And that can cost you. So we'll look at another one now. Going to be on an eval for Apex. You need 3K to pass. And you have a $1,000 daily loss limit. Thought I did okay. Trying to hop in longs right before London. The mistakes that I made are as follows. I was also playing off the higher time frames here to do this. And this was really my target. This guy right here. It didn't even get taken, so it doesn't really matter. But, you know, I would have been going for that. And that's basically the trade. As you can see, we'll be getting stopped out right around there. Mistakes here. I should have been adding in once I saw this. Once I saw this all get inversed and we flipped that and started bouncing off of that, that should have been adding. And then you can also add right here. Now, I wouldn't always do this, but I do this because I'm trying to pass in one day. So you want to trade them very aggressively, or I want to trade them very aggressively. I would have gone break even in theory, but I'm not a robot and I went to sleep thinking that I had it. I mean, you know, my big mistake was not adding in, especially here. I could have added 1 or 2 contracts and gone for it. you know, it is what it is. We have another day to try, and what I'll do is probably try to pyramid in for 4K. I'm okay with 2 or 3K, and then breaking it up into multiple days at that point. Better to pass over 2 or 3 days than to fail or to fail at all. So that was one trade, and I will show you another one now. Once again, just trying to show you how confident I am in the longs and in the setup. So what we literally did is put a buy limit on for in case that other account got stopped out. And I did not put a sell limit on because I didn't know if it would go there first. And had we done that, we would have been accidentally hedging. So my plan was just go to sleep. If this gets tagged in, great. It looks like we actually got pretty darn lucky there not to get stopped out. It was pretty close. And then we closed the day, as you can see, at 8,100 because I woke up, got really excited, and then I realized, oh, okay, I just passed an account. But Arthur, isn't that cheating? I don't know. Is it? I mean, is it cheating if I had lost? No. So don't really want to hear all that finagling. But I'm just trying to show the confidence in the concepts. Okay, this is real money that I'm putting on the line. Okay. I think that this is the final trade. I don't know. Arthur, aren't you over trading? I don't know. I used to. That's what I will say. What I will tell you is that I used to. I do have my stop losses. I also, it's a short week to be fair. I felt like I had the read correct on the bias. I also, let's see, what is this? It's about like that. I also am trying to stack accounts. Let me not show that actually. Well, I'll show you the account summary. I'm trying not to show all my credentials so I don't get robbed. But at the end of the day, had I been losing, probably would have stopped earlier, you know? But I got this account from Alpha Futures. Oh shit, don't show that. I got this account from Alpha Futures with a discount. And so, you know, I felt good. I'm not really, I've been trading for years, guys, and I've taken great trades. I've made a lot of money. I've lost a lot of money. I've lost a lot of accounts. Like I'm truly just indifferent to what happens. This would be the best, really. I'm looking at this now. This would be the best trade here. Is this gap. Sorry guys, I'm nerding out over these IFVGs. That would be the best. I mean, that's beautiful. And then you could take it to London. You could go to Asia. I mean, I gotta fix my schedule. Whoops. Anyway, again, it's the same trade as before. Like, you think like, look at these pounds, guys. Look at these pounds. Oh, glorious. If you think that I don't trust the concepts that I use, that I learned directly from ICT, you're a major silly goose. It looks like. Wait. I don't know why that happened. I don't know why only one of them was taken. But anyway, it looks like that one got taken. Yeah, I do remember this now. And then it retraced a little bit. But I had big buffer at that point. You only have 1750 to lose because this is an advanced. I got this advanced account for $66. And if I pass it, there will be no activation fee. So that's golden. And then there you go. That's the second one. And, you know, it would have gone up there anyway. It went back up there, and you know, you could take this too. Okay. Anyway, guys, hope you had a great week. I hope you learned something from this video. I hope that you enjoy your long weekend. Please do not trade tomorrow on Good Friday. The market's going to close. The futures market will close at 9:15. Please don't be a degenerate unless you absolutely need to learn the hard way. If you lose, you're gonna feel dumb. If you win, you're gonna think you did the right thing, and it's just not true. Enjoy the long weekend. practice being a trader. If you want to work on trading tomorrow, guys, oh my gosh, look at this setup. Oh my gosh, look at this setup. Oh, glorious. It'd be a little risky, but not really. If you want to work on trading tomorrow, watch videos, study, review your trades, review your notes, but really get rest and spend some time doing whatever you love to do. Keep that mental capital flowing. I do giveaways in my Discord server. If you'd like to participate in that, we do one free entry, and then we offer incentives for extra entries like watching videos, stuff like that. All free resources aimed at helping you get to your goal of being a profitable trader. Next Friday, we're going to be giving away 5 Lucid Flex accounts of 25K. So that's about $70 value on each of those, or it might be more now. I think they raised their prices, but definitely take advantage of that if you're interested and if you're trying to acquire more capital. So take care. Bald Arthur is done for